Hello and welcome to Critter Farms. We're back with another episode of Taheton County, and today we're finally going to kick off our planting season. But before we do that, there's one thing that I did uncover. A lot of people have been commenting about this on the videos, and I swear I tried this and it didn't work, but apparently we can remove the fences. So if I come in here to demolish and click on the fence gate, that was easy to remove. And then for removing these actual fences, I have found I was clicking on the post. You can't remove it when you click on the post. I'm click, doesn't work. Click on the fence and boom, it's gone. So that was the easy fix here for that. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just quickly remove all of the fences along the field edge here as I go through this. And I want to be careful that I don't accidentally remove our new placeable here. What I'm frustrated about is that I was unable to figure this out before we place this down, because I don't think I would have put it here. Or if I did, I would have moved it closer to the edge of the field. I think I might have actually put it along the edge over here somewhere, because I think it's going to be a lot easier for us to have auto drive courses where we're able to fill up and get turned around if we're not back in the corner here behind the shed. So we will have to think about maybe if we want to move that after the spring planting season here. Maybe we'll work through all the material that's in there and it won't be that big of a deal. I'm not going to go through on the camera here and delete all those fences. That's not really necessary. I just wanted to get rid of the ones on the farm here, since it doesn't make any sense to have this area be fenced in, and that's going to make our lives a lot easier here. So let's hop on into our tractor here and get out to planting. We've got quite a few fields here, and I think what I want to do is start out by hitting these couple that are right over here, and we're going to be manually planting our first few fields, partially because I just want to see how it works with the RowCrop Ready setup, and also because they're really not that big, so leveraging course play probably isn't going to make a lot of sense. I'm going to unfold this thing, but before we do so, I want to get out fully in the field so that we're not hitting the fence. Why is there still a fence there? Oh, that's my RTK station, or is that what it's called? That we set up for precision farming. But let's pull forward just a little bit more. There is still a fence in those weeds between the fields. Again, I'm not going to rip all of them out this episode. We got the main ones done. And this planter is plenty big here. Perfect. I like it. And I just want to look at the map. I want to make sure that we can plant what we need to plant. Corn is April and May, as you can see, and row crop soybeans is April, May, and June that we're able to plant those. So we're going to start off, I think, with planting some corn here today. And I just want to take a quick look at the map. As you can see here, we've got two sections of this field, the north section and the south section. Both of them have some interesting terrain features. I'm going to go up and we're going to plant this north section of the field first. So let me pull our tractor around here. Now, one thing to consider is which way our rows are going to go. I think our rows on this field are actually going to go... I don't think there's going to be much more than one headland pass down there. I think we're going to go north and south with our rows and see how that works out. So it's going to be beneficial to me to set up a GPS track here on the leftmost side. And I do need to leave some room for headlands and such. I think we're going to go just like this. I'm going to focus on getting the GPS track set first, and then we'll adjust. I'm a little close to the fence here. I'm going to move off of the fence a little bit here, something like that. And then I think it's Control 1 to set the width and Control 2 to set the actual course. And then before we start off on the course, now I want to turn around and get ourselves into position. I could have backed up, but let's be honest, my backup skills are lacking lately. So it's going to be safer for us if I just wheel this thing around. A little bit more compaction on our fields, I suppose. But in the grand scheme of things, this area is kind of a dud anyway. And then just like that, we're all turned around. Let me, is it Control End is going to get me set up on the track. We're going to get our air seeder all fired up. There we go. Sounded good. And we'll drop that right into the ground here and off we go. And you can see our rows are right over here on the edge. Probably could have been a couple feet over. I'm still a little bit new to the enhanced vehicle mod here, so I'm going to take a quick peek at the controls. Move offset line to the left is going to be right shift, right control, numpad minus. Well, that's a handful. How do I turn on my lines? Is right control 3, and then it was right control, right shift minus. I'm going to do 2 clicks there and see what happens if we move a little bit to the left. We are moving to the left. That's like 5 or 6 more clicks. There we go. We're going to have some really crooked starting rows and a weird overlapping double row on the right-hand side here for some of this. But we're going to run with this and see how it works out. And then, man, this is another problematic fence for us. A lot like the other fence here. We're going to take that out real quick. There we go. That's going to let me now come up here. I don't actually know how far my headland needs to come. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring... Oh my gosh, that guy is going way faster than is appropriate. I'm going to bring this up to here, and then we're going to lift this thing up, and then we'll get spun around and see if we can set our stuff up going the other way. I'm going to hit that fence, aren't I? Let's pull forward again. I've got my GPS lines are showing up now, unfortunately. Hang on. We don't actually need them, and what I need to do is shift my GPS now 90 degrees the other way for going along this fence. However, I don't want to do that. We just spent a lot of time getting our north-south set up. So let's just see if I can disable the EV tool real quick. There we go. We've turned them off. And now all I need to do is handle driving straight down this really short headland. So let's see if we've got what it takes here. We're going to back this planter right up to our other line. I'm going to get it straightened out here in just a second, I promise. We're a little bit overshooting. I'm getting used to some nuances with our steering here still. Always fun when you're running, and not new equipment. I guess I've run this before, but I haven't run it in a little while. There we go. And I think something right around here is going to do good for us. So I'm going to back up just a smidge here. There it is. And let's lower it down, and off we go. Now this again, I'm trying to do this part a little bit manually. This is going to be our first upper headland piece. When I was farming, we always put our headlands in at the end. I know a lot of people do them first, and so for this series we're going to plant the headlands first because it's going to tell me where they're going to end, and then I know so that I can lift up when I'm doing my rows and not have a lot of horribly ugly end rows. So let's see how well this works out. Man, we're driving crooked. This is going to be one of those things that drives everyone nuts, including myself, for the rest of the series, is seeing my awfully crooked end rows. It's going to be real, folks. But we seem to be doing a good job, and the fertilizer's going down here on the crops, which is helping us out a lot. Normally, I would probably say I should put down a little bit less per acre as our starter nitrogen, and then would come back over and put in some side dressing or something like that. But man, with RowCrop Ready here, I'd have to be playing on a much smaller farm to want to cover all of those acres with side dressing or a sprayer with drops on it or something like that. And so I think for the time being, at least, we're going to just let precision farming do its thing and max out our required nitrogen at planting time here for our corn. Now, this has been relatively easy driving in a straight line down the side of this field, but once we get down here and I have to start going around this turn, things are going to get interesting. And for me, half of the fun of this is seeing whether or not stuff is going to get all messed up. And when we're harvesting, how horrible is all of this going to look? I'm going to lose a couple of rows as I go through the grass here, but it's going to be easier to catch my turn here. And here we go for the turn. Let's slow down a little bit to make it easier on me. We need to go tighter, tighter. We got it. And then we're going to keep heading up here. We did lose a few rows in the grass there. That's gonna not necessarily be a problem, but gonna make things interesting when we come back to harvest at the end of the season here. And just looking at where this is coming up as I come back around this headland pass, I'm gonna try really hard not to overlap our other rows here. And then we're gonna have some extra rows down here no matter what I do. It's gonna be a very interesting looking field for sure. With a planter this big, I wonder if anybody's done a RowCrop Ready planter where you have row shut off yet. I know there's a mod that used to allow you to kill off certain rows for creating the, what's it called, the tram lines in your fields for some of the more European style farming that I've seen. That mod might work interestingly with the RowCrop Ready, where you could drop certain rows and not replant them so that we could do things like you would do realistically here when you need to run over something and just get partial rows. That might be interesting. Now I'm losing my corn out into this grass here. I don't know if that's actually planting down there or not. I guess we'll find out, because I think that grass is part of this field based on the nitrogen map at least. So I'm definitely doing a poor job of keeping that outside row out of that grass. Now here I missed part of this. The reason I had the other rows start on the long row there was because I knew I wasn't going to be able to drive up into our bins or the fence here and finish. So what I need to do is we need to go back and get these few rows here real quick going the north-south direction. So I'm going to back up a little bit here, and then we're going to just swing right into those rows, hop onto the GPS track, and get that last 4 feet or so planted. It's going to drive me nuts if we don't. Although realistically, a lot of the fields we worked in, we had a little staging area like this that we would set things down on and not necessarily try to get every inch of soil planted. Is it Control 3 to line up here? It appears to be right shift home to snap. How do I re-enable? Oh, right Control N to snap to track. And I'm going to drop this down ahead of time. And then we're just going to pull forward through this area and kind of straighten those lines out. We'll have some duplicates for sure. And then let's see, what do I want to do here? We're going to back up, and I'm going to take the headland pass back the way I came so that I've got 2 full headlands all the way around. I think that's going to be the best idea here. We're rolling down the hill a little bit. Now this is where it's going to be a little bit harder, and I wish that I had been smart about this. We did not put down our arm to track where we were going, so now I have to wing planting a second headland pass the whole time around. Folks, next field we're going to remember to put down our marker arms for the headlands. It's going to make life a lot easier for sure. But alas, we were not thinking things through here. Alrighty, here we go. Planter is on. Let's get into a view where I can see what's going on here. And off we go. This will be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to force myself to try and tackle this same field with the harvester manually when the time comes. Oh, we're overlapping a row. We're off by a whole row here. There we go. Got to keep that space in there. And this is going to be especially tough because we freehand the entire headland pass here. And you can see how wavy my lines were the whole way down the field here. And we're going to have some very crooked headland passes as we continue along this. Oh, we're overlapping a row again. Oh, this is going to be so much fun to see come when the crops are growing up and we're doing our spraying and stuff. We're going to see just how bad of a job we've done here. It's crazy. And this is the part I'm the most worried about, is trying to follow these crazy curves back and around. Oh, we're overlapping 2 rows. And this part will be the part that I just don't have an easy answer to. We're going to have some weird end rows here. I think I'm going to intentionally have them cross over, and then I'm going to try and come straight down here and line these rows up. We're going to pretend for a moment here that I'm shutting off my left side, and we're going to just run with it. It's going to look terrible. I'll be curious to see not just what it looks like, but how the yield is down in this part of the field compared to other parts of the field. And now we're going to purposefully have some double rows as I move back out into the main area here. One thing I'm noticing, though, is this is really chugging our frame rates while the planting is happening. That's one part of RowCrop Ready that I was aware of, but it might be a good idea just for anybody who's getting into this and wanting to try out a RowCrop Ready map. It does have a penalty for FPS as you're driving around. Now, once you're done planting and you lift it back up, that frame rate jumps right back up to where it was before. Oh my goodness, that's going to look terrible. I'm not sure if that's how I should have handled this, but we'll see. We'll see, I suppose. We're going to drive ourselves up here now and continue the headland pass on the side here, and then we'll get the north end of the field and start doing our up-down rows. Oh, it's so ugly. All right, here we go. We're already way off on the right-hand side here. Trying to give myself better gear to get some speed. Oh, and we're not paying attention and we're overlapping rows. I really should have put down the marker arms for this. It would have made things so much easier. Oh, now our row's too wide. We're overcorrecting. Small turns. Here we go. I am going to try and just make the curvy turn here on the headland. We'll see if I can pull this off, and we're overlapping our row a little bit. Oh, it's so bad. Press V to lift up. Okay. Let's fix this, folks. This is bad. So I'm going to back ourselves up here a bit, and then as I pull forward, overcorrecting. Can we get on a good angle? That looks a little bit better than we were, at least. We'll put this back down. Oh, we're almost a row off. There we go. That should be better. I'm liking that. I blame the curvy first rows here, not my current curvy rows, for the atrocities we're committing here with RowCrop Ready. I'm curious to see what a field's going to look like when I let Courseplay do its thing, because Courseplay doesn't always remember to lift the implements up in the right ways and all kinds of stuff. That's going to be crazy fun times. Well, let's go ahead now and begin our up-down rows. This is where things should get less painful. I'm going to put ourselves on the right row, and off we go. Oh, we let down just a little bit early. We're gonna have to work on that for sure. And here we are. We've got our GPS track all going. I'm gonna be curious to see how wide the rows gaps are once we kind of get into it, because the gap on the right is a little weird right now. There it looks better, but it's kind of variable. And I want to see if the working with and the RowCrop Ready part of this is going to work out well with at least GPS type mods. Oh, and we lifted up too early that time, so that's also the other thing to worry about. Either too early or too late. Both are problematic. And right there. Oh, too much the other way this time. And here you can see, this is with the way our GPS is set up. We are overlapping quite a bit here. We're overlapping 2 full rows on this thing. That's no good. And that's going to throw everything off for the rest of the field here if we let that continue. So let me see if we can figure out how to recalculate our working width. Right control keypad 1. I want to increase the working width potentially. So I'm just looking here to see. Man, this one does not have, as far as I can see, a way to increase the working width. I can increase offset, increase width of tracks. Okay, right shift numpad plus. But before I do that, I'm going to do 1. Working width was recalculated, but it's not actually. So let me get turned around here. And I'm going to turn the lines back on for a second here. There we go. Okay, now I have the lines turned on. I want to pull into this area. I'm going to back up. We're going to see if that was just because it was the first run here and things are going to work better on the second time. It looks like I have some kind of an offset. What's that green line? Why do I have a green offset line? That doesn't make any sense to me. So maybe that is our problem right now. Offset line. Oh, that's what I did. I was moving the offset line and not the track lines when I was doing that. I should have been doing something else. So I have moved my offset line with the right shift, right control numpad. So let me put this back. There we go. And now when I right control home, everything should be good to go. That was totally my fault from when we were trying to align by the fences there. And this row may still be off a little bit, but the next row we should be all good to go with proper spacing, I hope. We're gonna find out though and see what's what. However, in the meantime, let's get rid of all these ugly lines. I can't take that, and we'll go with this mode. I think that's gonna let me see the lines when I'm turning around, and then they'll go back away. And this should just help me get turned back into the correct roll, like so. Drop it down as we come into the row. Not quite getting there. Okay, so this is the problem, is we're overlapping that row when we do it this way because the work area is perfectly set. I need to increase our work area somewhere. Right shift numpad plus, and that's where I moved the tracks left and right. Okay, so that's what we did wrong before. So if I right shift numpad plus, and let's see what that does to us. We're gonna increase the size of our tracks a little bit. This row might be off. We'll find out when we start planting the next one on this side if everything lines up. And again, with the early lift, we've got to work on that. Oops, we did not lock into the track for some reason that time. I heard the different beep. I think my wheels were just turned too far and we were going too fast. Here we go, dropping things in, and we're still a little close over here. I think we're gonna want to go up by, man, one more? I don't know. We're gonna leave it. I want to see what it looks like on the other side where we haven't already mucked things up. Perhaps this is gonna be good, or perhaps we need to go up to 18.1 meters for widths, but I'm hoping 18's fine because that's going to be easy to remember. And lift and turn. Oops, and get lined up. Drop it back in. And there we go. Man, that's just a little bit close. Let's go up to 18 point. Oops. What did I just push? Let's go up to 18.1. I did right control numpad plus. I wanted right shift numpad plus. So let me go back down one. Right shift numpad plus 18.1 meters. Here we go. Let's see what this looks like. That gap is looking better. It's a little wide now. This is what I'm worried about, is I'm not going to be able to find a perfect happy medium between the two, and we're going to be fighting with this the whole time. That's part of the learning experience, though. I am turning my wheel as hard as I can, and it wasn't getting me out of that mode. Sometimes the GPS just doesn't want to let you have control of your device again. All right, here we are, and dropping down. I was actually pretty good that time. This way is still a little close. I don't know why when I'm going one way it seems close, and when I'm coming the other way it's a lot wider. Things do seem like they're slightly offset. I don't think I have an offset set anymore though, because when I'm turning around I don't see that blue line. So I'm going to run with 18.1 here for a round or two, and we're going to see how happy we are with that. Yeah, even on the way up now, we seem really close here. I think we do need to probably take it to 18.2. So right shift plus is going to bring me to 18.2. We're going to be doing a lot of overlap on these angled rows here, but I don't think there's a lot to be done about that. I mean, I think that's how I remember we always did it on the farm back in the day. Have a few double rows on the headlands. And here we go. We're getting close to done with this field. This field is our practice field. I want to get everything dialed in so that we know how we're going to approach the rest of our fields moving forward. Now, this gap is looking okay, but it's always deceiving. It's not until the next round that we're really going to be able to see how expanding our width is going to play out, because it's this is the first round where we're actually driving down the correct center tile for our expanded track, and we'll see what happens. Get our angle in and lift. There we are. Shift it around and pull right back into our row. Drop it down. There we are. I think 18.2 is perfect. Look at that line. It's a perfect row. We've got it sorted out, and this is going to work out pretty good for us moving forward into the next fields. I think I just got to remember that 18.2 number for our working widths, both when we're manually running this as well as when we're setting things up with course play. Here on some other fields, course play is going to make just a total mess of some of our end rows and stuff, but it is what it is. Oh, we get back on here, and we've got one more round here. Perfect. Well, we'll get it dropped down like so, and yeah, I'm excited to be finishing up this field. I think this episode is probably going to be focused just on us getting this field finished here. I had a lot of fun personally playing around here with the RowCrop Ready and getting our enhanced vehicle GPS stuff sorted out. Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode too. If you have, hit that like button, helps me out a lot. And next episode, we're going to be knocking out the rest of our planting here. I'm going to try and zip through all of that in an episode. We'll see how it goes. I'm wondering, though, if we're going to need to get another planter going here, maybe lease out a setup to focus on some of the big fields while we go around and monkey around with these smaller fields. I do think we're going to end up planting all of the small fields ourselves, which is going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned next episode as we dive into planting with more equipment on the farm. We're going to have to take out a little bit more debt in order to get that lease. That's okay. I'm looking forward to it. This series is all about getting a lot more equipment running at the same time, getting some bigger equipment on the farm, and we're just going to go for it. Let me know in the comments also if there's anything else that you'd like to see me add or do on this playthrough. That's all for today. Keterk out.